Hi folks, how are you doing? Two former world champions met at the first round of this little Bilbao tournament on September 2014. We had Vishwanathan Anand with white pieces from India and Ruslan Ponomariov with black pieces here. Let's see what happened. Anand starts with 1d4. Ponomariov, I think he has quite a wide opening repertoire. He's always solid but plays lots of defenses, lots of opening. He plays d6 in this occasion. Knight f3, g6, and now we're heading into normal King's Indian defense lines. Bishop g7, knight c3, knight f6, e4. This is the classical King's Indian. Black castles, and this time Anand chose the h3 continuation. e5, d5, and a5 was played here with the idea, very typical in the King's Indian, I think, to go knight a6, c5, having a strong knight in the center. And this pawn is stopping white kind of from molesting this knight with b4. So quite a useful move, taking space on the queen side. Bishop plays to e3, still controlling a little bit the c5 square. Knight goes to a6, and now white has the center more or less under control, so he tries to go get something going on the king side and plays a little bit aggressively there. g4 was played. Knight still goes to c5. Now e4 is under attack by both knights. So the knight on f3, which is not doing that much anymore, is relocated to d2, protecting both c and e pawns, and also giving Anand the possibility of playing the f pawn every time he wants it, if it's needed. So quite a nice move there. c6, trying to break white pawn center. Bishop e2, bishop d7. By the way, this is all theory still. Very well known for these GMs, I'm sure. g5, the knight goes back to e8, and h4. There are still games in the database with this position, with this move order. Now, a little strange move, f6, as it of course tries to break this pawn structure of white on the king side, but not sure if it's very effective. I mean, the bishop right now looks really silly, although black is supposing it's going to be temporary. Not really sure this was a very, I mean, I don't understand this move that much, but it could be only me. Knight b3 is played by Anand. Now he's attacking obviously on c5 with two pieces. There is only a pawn defending, so the threat by b6, Ponomariov defends it, but still Anand takes, b takes, and now this is what I was meaning earlier. I mean, look at all these pawns on dark squares, and this bishop on g7 not really looking that great at all. Okay, I mean, it's a former world champion playing, but I would be worried as black here. Queen to d2 just keeps developing. Now f takes, h takes, c takes, and knight takes. And once again we have a bishop which is not that great, and we have a great piece on d5, white knight, backward pawn on d6, so I think white is better. Not sure if this is much better or slightly better, but white must be clearly happy here with the outcome of the opening, I think. Rook f7, I guess with the idea of defending the 7th rank, which could be potentially weak. I mean, look at this h file, the open h file. White could be potentially double up rooks or something and get some crazy attack going on. So rook on f7, some kind of prophylactic defensive move, I guess. Also, it could help some attacking idea. So the rook on f7 is more active than on f8, we could argue. White castles long, rook to the open b file, rook h2. As I said, this could be an idea. Rook dh1 and attack. Bishop to e6. Knight back to c3. Anand thinks, with very good reason, I think, that his knight is better than the bishop on e6. Now queen b6. Okay, black has something going on the b file, but this is why Anand put his knight back. Now he's putting the knight in the middle of the attack. b5, cementing it after bishop f8 with a4, so that the b file is closed forever. So no counter chances for Ponomariov here on the b file. Queen goes back to b7. Now he attacks e4, queen c2, bishop e7, king b1, queen c6, bishop to d2. Now it's white who attacks a pawn. Bishop d8, queen d3, rook b2 b7, and rook f1. White is trying to play f4, try to open up the king side even more for his bishop. Pair rook back to f8 and f4. Some exchanges on f4 happened. E took, rook takes, and bishop takes. I mean, now the bishop is very active, attacking the weakness of black on d6. The knight and the queen are also attacking there, so that's part of the advantage white has here. Rook to f7, bishop to d2, bishop e7. Ponomariov tries to hold it, everything solid, and keep it together. Rook to g2, defending, queen b6, and now bishop to g4. That's why the rook came here to defend g5 and also allow this bishop g4, exchanging this bishop, which could be the active bishop of black. We could argue it's attacking c4. So bishop takes, rook takes, and now light squares of black could be slightly weak, I think. d5, e6, even f7. So black doesn't have his light square bishop to defend those squares, and they are leading to black king. So this could be a potential threat for black, potential danger. Knight c7, a good move, I think, to try either to exchange the strong knight or defend these light squares, both, I think. Rook f4, knight e6, rook takes, king takes. Now the queen goes to d5, and white has a couple of very strong pieces on d5, on b5. So clearly a better position, I think, for white. Even though g5 is hanging, white would take d6 back. So this should favor white always. Anand in a good position here, I think. Queen back to d8, king to a2, bishop f8, bishop f4, queen d7. Ponomariov tries to hold basically by doing nothing, just challenging white to show the way to the victory. b3, bishop e7, and now finally Anand takes on d6 with a check. King to f8, he cements his knight with e5, but well, black is taking g5 back, but white takes c5 as well. The queen g4 attacking the bishop, bishop to c1, and if check on g2, or whatever, I mean, check on e2 for instance, bishop b2, and white king is perfectly safe, I think. Well, in fact, we want to see this a couple of moves. Bishop c1, h5 is what Ponomariov plays. Okay, he has a couple of passed pawns there, connected passed pawns. It has to try to get something going on. Anand keeps harvesting. Queen takes on a5, queen g2 check, bishop b2, h4. We're gonna see a really nice little final position in this game, so don't miss it. We're approaching a beautiful phase of the game. The end game was played really very nice way by Vishy and Anand. Queen to b5, queen a8. I mean, from here, white couldn't access to the back rank. a8 is controlled by the black queen, so Anand tries to go to b8. Queen a8 is denying Vishy this possibility, but c5. Anand has lots of pawns here. h3, c6, bishop to d8, queen to d5, improving pieces, controlling almost all the board with the queen on the center. Bishop c7, bishop to c1, attacking g5, queen a5, and now look at this. I mean, queens may be exchanged, but one must be careful. Of course, if queen takes, bishop must take, but how are we going to stop the h pawn if white takes the knight? I mean, h2, and this pawn is unstoppable. Well, fortunately for white, I think this is still working out well, because if queens check, and after whatever black king goes, this pawn is queening as well, but Well, you don't need to play with fire here. After queen a5, just knight b5, calm move by Anand. Queen to e1, now bishop a3 check, king g7. White takes on c7, allowing h2. It seems black is going to promote. Well, it might be that way, but it probably won't save Ponomariov from losing, as we're gonna see. The beautiful phase of the game approaching knight e8 check, king h6, and now knight to f6. And if you're black here, one shouldn't hurry to just promote a queen, because this is checkmate in one move. Bishop to f8, beautiful checkmate with the bishop and the knight. I mean, black's own knight is making this possible. So after knight f6, queen e2 check was played. Bishop back to b2. Now knight e4. Queen takes, queen takes, and knight takes. And even if Ponomariov is queening here, promoting a queen, nice little endgame. c7, and we have a very beautiful final position. Ponomariov, in fact, resigned here, and he doesn't have a queen against two pieces. In fact, he's down at least a piece, because even if he takes the knight or he plays something like queen h3, knight to d6, there is no way to stop the promotion of the pawn, and white is up lots of material winning this game. So a beautiful finish to the game by the former world champion and contender to the world throne in a couple of months, Viswanathan Anand from India, to win his first game on this Grand Slam Masters in Bilbao